He's still a dude. She's still a dude. We're still DJ. It's the What People Do podcast. I'm DJ.
And I'm Will the Greatest.
And this is a podcast where we typically take a second look back at our favorite pieces of media, be they albums or movies. And if you want to make a request, you can head on over to Ko-fi.com/rapcritic. And if you want to hear those requests early, plus all the other fun, sexy stuff I got going on, head on over to Patreon.com/rapcritic, where you can see all that fun stuff. But yeah, this is the podcast. Like I said, we typically take a second look back at things. But this month we saw that the Good Burger 2 joint was coming up. We was like, yeah, let's take a look back at the version, see how it holds up if this new joint's gonna be on. You feel me? Going back to the first movie as well, you know what I'm saying, to recalibrate the nostalgia, you know what I'm saying, make sure we're really getting it right, to really give you the double deluxe review of Good Burger and Good Burger 2. So
the supersized.
That's right. So just out the gate, just to throw my opening gambit, because I don't think this is going to be necessarily the most deepest episode, but who knows, when we get to talking. But yeah, I'll just come out and say it, for a Good Burger sequel, I didn't mind it too much. I thought it did what it needed to do as far as delivering good enough laughs. Like there were definitely times where it was like, okay, that's a bit of a kid joke. But again, going back to the old movie, it's like, it's not like there weren't a bit of bum jokes.
Juvenile humor or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, to me, it felt about on the same clip. Like there were genuine moments that did make me laugh in the same way in the original movie. I remember being like, oh, that actually did make me laugh. What about you?
Yeah, it was. So I watched this over Thanksgiving with my partner and their family. So it was like 5 of us just like, hey, we got Paramount Plus. Let's watch Good Burger 2. And then getting through it, I'm like, well, that happened. Like, not like any sort of facetious Marvel character-esque way. Yeah. It was very much like, well, there is a start, middle, and end. I guess what I can say, it starts to further that theory I posited during the last one that, Ed might really be the god of this universe.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely dip into that for a second.
But it was fine. It got some pleasant surprises out of me. The performances were fine. It was like you kind of, it even has the same writers apparently, aside from Dan Schneider. It's missing one. But I don't know what you can really expect from a Good Burger. Like my expectations going into it is like, oh, this time it's Good Burger, but the villain is maybe I think you actually called it in the first one where it's like, oh, what if it was a big scheme where it turned out he was some legacy spoiled brat from some bigger enterprise? And it's like, right. That's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
That's sort of it. Like when I was watching, I'm like, he kind of called that a little bit.
Called the whole thing about him being God. But so just to go real quick, just to get out of the way, because it was like, I'm thinking of the whole movie, right? It's like, Kenan looks pretty much exactly the same.
Yes.
Kel
does not.
And I feel so bad, talking about someone looks, I don't know, but at the same time, I can't help because their faces are so right next to each other most of the time, and Kenan looks so the same, and Kel looks he doesn't look like old Nicole, but he looks like...
He doesn't look bad, but he clearly has makeup over his wrinkles. Kel Mitchell is a very, healthy, happy-looking guy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But clearly, the makeup
That's the thing. I feel like I've seen him in other things
that they put on.
Yeah. He looked like if Michael Jackson was still black. That's what he looked like to me. And I was like... I could not notice that the whole time, you know what I mean?
It's something about the way they made up his face, because, seeing just a regular static image of Kel Mitchell, he looks great.
Yeah.
He's 45, he's young, he's in good shape, he's a really good-looking guy, and then you see him, back in the braids and the fit, and it's like, And I saw it in the trailer, and everyone else noticed it. It's like, something's up with his face. I think it's a really strong anti-aging cream or a blemish cream, whatever they use to tone his face.
I don't know, it just looks like his face is on someone else's face that's a skeleton that's slightly too...
Yeah, it's very Robert Zemeckis, Polar Express.
Yeah, it feels even weirder because later on when he's the Robo-Kel, he actually looks better.
Yeah. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's one of those things where I know they're smoothing it on purpose, but it's
right.
Now I'm especially calling attention to it, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I noticed it from the first trailer. Also, this movie opens in a way I'm not gonna go into the details, but it's just like it opens in one of those. It's just such a head scratcher.
Well, let's get into it because it's like, okay, so it starts off, all in the same way that the first one does, a fantasy sequence of them, hanging out with burgers. And this time there's a song, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is a Paramount Plus movie where, where this might not make it to the theater. So maybe we didn't give the full budget to, have the sound editor actually make sure the tracks were on beat with the music. I was like, oh, what's happening here?
We didn't pay the sound editing team enough.
There were a couple of moments during the very beginning of the movie where I was like, is everything okay? Were they able to finish the movie? Because like right after that, there's the Good Burger like opening like animation sequence. And didn't it seem like that was supposed to go on for a longer time?
Yeah.
Like, didn't it seem like it was like, oh, did they just like cut this because it's like the short version for TV? But it was like the way it looked so vibrant, it was like, why would you just show that for a couple of seconds? Like it felt to me like they were doing like, oh, we're gonna do a little thing with this shit. This actually costs a lot of money and claymation moving things one at a time.
We're running out of budget. We need those influencer cameos to pay off.
Exactly. So that's what it kind of felt like to me. So at first things felt a little creaky, but I'm not going to lie. Like as the movie went on, I was like, you know what? This is about what it needs to be. So I can't lie. I enjoyed it. Oh, again, there was another point where you see Pete Davidson.
Yeah. There's a couple people there. I'm just like, oh, what? Like, yeah, because Marcy Martin is in it too, just in a bit role. And we were sitting on the couch. It's like, Marcy Martin, Nicole Byer, what are you doing here as Discount Lizzo? Is that Pete Davidson?
And like, he barely does anything. Like, it's probably the funniest bit they could have gotten out of him, you know what I mean? He's like, oh, I've been waiting here for 20 minutes. Which, prompts the question, and I know it's like sketch comedy thing, and there's only so far you can stretch it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there does become like what's the word? Like, the snapping of the rubber band of like, why are these people still here? Like, he said he's been waiting for 20 minutes. Go to another restaurant. He's apparently been taking a nap. How good are these fucking burgers where these people can't just get another burger?
I mean, so good that there's been a revenge plot against it for 2.5 decades.
Yeah, apparently.
The weirdest thing about like the cameos in this movie is they feel like they're supposed to be longer than they are.
Yeah, it definitely feels like, we can only get a couple of lines in.
Like, there's one that I could have swore I'm like, oh, this is going to be a setup for something later. No, it was just a one-off joke. And they have a lot of them, which is, again, it's not like the first one didn't do that, and it's not like the sketch didn't do that. It's just kind of like, it's like the opposite where you expect a joke to go too long.
Yeah.
But like the jokes know when to cut off. Don't get me wrong, like they still have good comedic timing, but they kind of cut off
too soon. Yeah.
Before you expect them to cut off, because it doesn't hit the point of annoyance, but it also doesn't hit the sweet spot of like being funny.
Right.
So then you're like, oh, okay, the punch, like there's the punchline, and then the joke ends. You're like, move around. You said 90 minutes, and you said we're keeping it tight. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not mad.
Right. So it's 26 years later. Dexter, Kenan's character, is entrepreneur, still trying to get rich quick, essentially, but now in the more legitimate business sort of version of things. And apparently he's a CEO, CFO, see all these things of this corporation.
Yeah,
so
big time entrepreneur money man.
Yeah. So things couldn't have been going too bad really for it being 26 years later. And you know what I'm saying? But whatever. He does this new idea that just feels so like it's so clunky.
It was the dumbest idea.
It was like clearly a wrote this down first draft and didn't come back to it. It annoyed me because like in the first movie, it's realistic. Like a kid's about to go on vacation, then he gets into a car accident, and then, he has to pay it off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just a legitimate, like, plot. Like, you could say it's like, a basic plot, but like, I see that happening. With this plot, he comes up with an idea of like unburnable products, basically. Like, you put some stuff on it and it doesn't burn. And he decides to use his own house as an example. And it's like, it's the most...
It's so stupid.
Like, you couldn't have done anything, like an outhouse, anything other than your own house.
Which is what we were all saying while watching it in the living room. Not flame retardant, entirely like anti-flame. It is flame repellent in the like 100%. He's like, and by doing this, I'm going to test it on my own home because I have so much confidence. Yeah. I'm like, no, that is the dumbest choice. And if these are the decisions you make, I don't know how you made it this far in your career for the past 25, 26 years.
Yeah. Now Kenan's acting, when I was thinking about it, like watching him, it's like don't you always get that feeling of he's always like doing a perpetual like kind of smirk? Like it's like, let me believe what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like it feels like kid acting still to me. You know, like he's still doing ticks that you do as a kid to be like, this is how I communicate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I guess if you've been on SNL that long, where they kind of you hide the laugh, but they don't like kick you out if you laugh.
Yeah, it's exactly SNL acting. Yeah,
so it's kind of like you can lean into it a little bit, and he does kind of play it up a little bit, like, and here is my new grand idea, and I'm gonna test it out on my own home. And it's like,
yeah.
What's weird is like the opening is about as convoluted as it gets.
Right. Yeah.
For Good Burger 2, just because it's incredibly contrived. Because like, I don't know if you've heard that like thing that the South Park writer said. It's like, you know, trying to change your writing from so then to therefore.
Right. Things lead into each other. Man.
But this is the most forced way where it's like Kenan Thompson banks all his like money and shekels on an investment for an anti-fire product. He invites the fire department too, which that is kind of funny.
I mean, I guess it's like, you know, you do have to, you know, sort of regulation sort of thing. Yeah. But the idea is like, oh, but we won't need you, you know, yeah.
Yeah, that's like showing RoboCop to the police officers. It's like, okay, let's see how this goes.
Then Mark Cuban shows up again. I do think his cameo is actually kind of funny. Yeah.
And we knew he was here because we looked briefly at the cast before the movie came out when we recorded it. And we were both like, what is Mark Cuban doing here? What cinematic universe is this?
You know, it's like, is he trying to take advantage of black people? What's going on? I was like looking up to see if there's something with black people that he did.
Right. Yeah, this is the second black movie he's been in this year, I think.
But no, I think he's an NBA, you know, financier, so it's that sort of deal where it's like, oh, okay.
But yeah, he just goes up and it's like, please, Mark Cuban, please help me, Mark Cuban. And Mark Cuban's like, no.
He actually does have a funny line. He says like, you ruined me. Well, actually, I'll be fine. I've got, you know, this, that, and that. You're screwed. But yeah, right. That was funny enough as a rich guy line.
The fact that Mark Cuban has a solid one-liner.
Yeah. So Dexter's down on his luck. He looks at the yo-yo that his friend got him from 26 years ago. You know, he dusts it off.
He's fucking homeless. He ran out of everything. I'm like, so all of it went up in flames?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Everyone turns on this man. You know, like, you ain't got no friends. You ain't got nothing. Like, dang.
Well, first of all, you don't have a savings account, bro? Wait. Was the money in the bed frame? Like,
it's been 26 years, bro.
He had, I think, 2 bags when he gets to Ed.
Oh, yeah, he looks down at his yo-yo. You know, he sees Ed, you know, up here on the yo-yo. He's like, hey, dude, join the restaurant. And it's like, it's treated like he hasn't seen him in all of these years, which, you know, like, is odd, but, like, it's funny to be as old watching it. That's what I wrote down. Yeah, like, it legit looks like Kenan's fever dream before he called Kel to do this movie. You know, he's like, come on, buddy, you know you need another project. And you know, the pandemic's got things looking a little tight. You know that TV show didn't do too well?
He's like, well, my sitcom got canceled on NBC, and that had the backing of the literal creator of SNL, so let me call up Kel and the people at Viacom, see if we can squeeze out another one.
And you know what's so funny watching this movie? Like, they still have good timing.
Yeah.
And they still have, like, they can still deliver jokes really well in a way that really makes me look back. I was like, is it the movie and it being like a, you know, family movie that is reflecting in how they are, you know, the performances that, like, Kenan is ultimately giving? Or is it like, if we gave him another project and really let him do something, would he really, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I really do want to see these guys being like a dynamic duo doing more stuff. But it's like, if you got them a legit project that was like, maybe not necessarily adult, but just like, hey, actually letting them do their acting chops and not just the famous bit role where, of course, they're going to be comfortable in it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's definitely part of I think the era of comedy that, like, sketch comedy in particular, that they come from. Because there's a character who, we'll get to him later when we're talking about, like, all the one-off jokes and stuff like that, but one that shows up that honestly caught me off guard, and I'm like, God damn it still works because she's still funny. And it's like, seeing that interaction on the one hand is like heartwarming, but on the other hand, it's like people that know how to work well together, like, that chemistry can't be written.
Yeah.
Ultimately. So it's like Kenan and Kel's ability to play off each other will be different than them playing off a different type of comedian. It's
sure.
Some of those things you can't really write.
Yeah. You need the Marx brothers got to be with each other. You need, you know what I mean? That sort of deal.
Yeah.
Now, they plan to meet up between Ed and Dex. And Dex sees Ed like driving the burgermobile towards him, and he's just standing in the middle of the street. And
Standing like an insane person.
yeah, it's the most telegraphed like joke, but it's one of those things where it's just like, dude, this one's on you. You're standing in the middle of the street. You see like Ed driving the burgermobile. You know he's an idiot. Like he's just like, hey Dex, hey Ed, why don't you slow down? Like step onto the sidewalk. Like
Move, bitch, get out the way.
yeah, and like it's one of those things where like, I'm sorry, I can't even get mad at Ed for this one. That's your fault.
You had all of the. It wasn't like you didn't see him coming. You were saying maybe Ed will slow down. Now Kenan, now Dexter. You know Ed.
Yeah, it was like, hey Dex, hey, yeah.
That's on you. Actually, it's sort of telegraphed because I thought he was just going to hit him.
Oh, yeah.
But he hits him. He does a 360 and land in the car, which again, that's...
I mean, kids movie, silly. Yeah.
All right. You somehow did both what I expected and not what I expected at all.
Yeah. Real quick, though, did you notice that the lights on the burgermobile aren't sticking out like in the original?
I must have missed that one when we watched it.
Because I noticed something was weird.
I mean, it's
like,
probably rebuilt.
yeah, but like, why do the lights seem sunken in like freaking 2D's eyes of gorillas? I was like, what's going on? I was like, yeah, I think they rebuilt it and they were like, couldn't figure out how to get, a burger thing on it whether it's still working or something. So they were just like, fucking push it forward. But that kind of lightened the effect for me a little bit because I was like, well, it doesn't look like, an actual, like, you know what I'm saying? Lights coming at your car, let's see. Good burger.
Burgermobile side by side. Typing Burgermobile will get you some unique results.
Yep, there are lights there. Yeah, you can see the lights.
Oh, well, I guess part of the difference because the original was closed in and the new one's a convertible.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. I see. Yeah, different design. Yeah.
Because he's got money now. It's the remix Burgermobile.
Oh, okay. Oh, and that's a funny thing, too. So apparently Ed's been a smart businessman, a shrewd businessman. He's been able to, like, amass a wealth of $13 million that we find out later. Like, damn, dude. And the funny thing is, it's like, how the fuck are you doing it with this shitty-ass burgers?
It's for the love of the game at that point.
Yeah, like, I have to imagine that he just happened to get a good, when someone left him the burger joint, he happened to make a couple of investments that just happened to pay off. Because there's no way, just through the business of this place, because like I said, it's fucking Burger World in Beavis and Butthead with this asshole. Like, people are not getting their orders, as we see pretty much 99% of the time. I'm surprised we even see people eating there. Because, like, how did they get their orders? What did they have to do?
Right.
Oh, they make it out. It's like an In-N-Out burger. You got to figure out the right things to say to Ed to make him, like, get you the right thing. Like, remember that later on scene where the thugs, like, are trying to, like, muscle him and they're trying to intimidate him, like, you better sign this thing or else I'm going to fuck you up bad, Like, and he goes like, oh, I could sign it away, no way. And then one of the guys, clues in that he's an idiot. And he goes like, I'm a really big fan of your sauce, Ed. I'd love to get your autograph. And he's like, is that what you have to do to get, like, Ed to, like, do it right? You have to, like,
yes.
Take off your pants, turn around 3 times and, like, fucking wiggle your ear. And he's like, oh, right, burger, with cheese, extra mayo, no sauce.
Have you heard about the phenomena called, like, Toon Force before?
What?
Where it's just kind of like the superpowers that like old school cartoons would have was just like ridiculous strength.
Oh, sure. They're like fucking One Piece with homeboy with the gum fruit. Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So Ed operates under a sort of Toon logic where it's kind of like meeting insanity with insanity, so then it balances out again.
Yeah, you're right.
You have to be on the same level of logic that Ed is on in order for shit to work the way you want it to. You can't use common sense. That's not how he works. He works off Ed sense. He works off Toon logic.
Right.
So it's like, oh, what does he know? He knows burger logic. That's what Ed operates off of. So it's burger and burger adjacent properties.
Yeah.
You appeal to that, you can get in there, but you got to recognize what you're working with here.
Yeah. Ed decides to give him the job because he now owns the Good Burger. Even though there's the one scene where he's like, oh, yeah, you got to go to the manager. So, he just wastes his time for 2 minutes.
Right. For some dude.
Yeah, with the manager who's wearing, like, a Good Burger tie, like looking sort of blue and white tie. But he looks like he's, like, freaking 16 years old. So it's like one of those things where it's like, wait, what is happening here? Why do you have this guy? Why do you have this puppet manager when you can just do this yourself? Like, he just doesn't like authority, He likes to own the business, but he doesn't like being, the suit and tie man,
Right. It's like, oh, yeah, I got to, prep you up and prepare you for the manager. And then he pops in some kid, which would make sense realistically for a burger joint. But then it's like, oh, well, Ed, you own it.
Yeah.
So I could have cut out the middleman. It's like, yeah, but just in case. Again, burger logic. Like,
yeah. I mean, he is God, so maybe he's doing some sort of a test thing. I don't know. He's testing his followers.
Exactly. Testing your faith. How much do you believe in yourself to get this job?
Right. So Dexter goes to the Good Burger, gets the job, is introduced to a couple of the employees. There's twins, Cindy and Mindy. And then there randomly turned out to be a third one later on. It was like, so they aren't twins, but they introduced them as twins. Whatever.
Oh, I missed the third one. Wait a second.
Yeah, there's like a bit at the end where it's like, by the way, there's a third one. And Calvin's like, but it's just like, wait, why would you say that you're twins and you know all along? Whatever.
Just jokes coming and going.
Right. Oh, and then, of course, the revelation that Ed most definitely fucks. Ed fucks a lot. Like fucking jackrabbits over here.
Man, you thought Goofy fucks? No, Ed fucks.
Oh my God. Yeah, all the kids in there. Ed 2, Bun.
And the fact that it's just Ed 2.
Yeah, I know it.
Not Ed Jr., not Ed the second, Ed 2. Like Good Burger 2. Because it's like,
And the guy who was doing the impression, what was that again?
What's his name? Alex R. Hibbert is playing Ed 2. He's really good in this part.
He is doing a really good job.
Like, concerningly good for a 19-year-old.
Yeah, if we bring the show back, can we get him? Like, yeah,
He was really good at that. Like, you want to talk about spot on casting? Spot on.
Like, he hit the voice right, he hit the lines right. Like, I feel like every moment was like,
the inflection, the attitude.
Okay, why don't we have this guy more in this movie? Where he comes out, he's like, hey, look, I got fry brows. And he has like glued, French fries with that. And he rips them off and eats them. He goes like, gooey. It's like,
Ed 2 is great. Sorry, I thought you were going to talk about like Dexter's niece while the other people there.
Well, again, because I did want to bring that in really quick, because there's a bit of the family dynamic going on there where, like, Dexter's sister doesn't want to talk to him anymore because, Dexter, his entrepreneurs blew all of his sister's money on an idea he was doing. So the niece is kind of like working at Good Burger, and she comes across and is like, oh, wow, you haven't seen me in a while. And it's like, it's because your mom doesn't want anyone in the family to see me after what happened, So, like, there's that dynamic of like, oh, she's, pissed off at me. Oh, will I win the love of my niece back?
I guess.
Okay. Like, I remember when I watched it the first time, I was having that bit of like trying to figure out the stakes of like, so wait, is this a divorce that's happening? Like, no, it's not. It's even less stakes than that. It's just like, I hope my niece likes me. It's like, okay.
Right. It's his niece. There are bits in this movie where it's like semblances of connected to Good Burger 2, I think, was probably pitched as like a mini series, and they said, we'll give you 90 minutes.
Right.
As far as like some of the jokes and a lot of the cameos, like, look, we'll give you the budget for that mini series. You have 90 minutes. Okay. So it's like, here's sort of a conflict with Dexter and his family.
Yeah.
Remember, he had a sister? Well, she had a kid, and he has a niece. So it's like, because that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, oh, is this his like divorced, estranged daughter? One thing you can say about the movie, it is simultaneously predictable in a broad way, but not predictable in like little specific ways.
Yeah, definitely. Like
when she showed up, I'm like, oh shit, that's like his divorced daughter that he hasn't seen because he's a workaholic and da-da-da-da. Nope, none of that. Just his niece.
Right.
Who he's just kind of absent to.
Yeah, because the first time I watched it and I thought it was like his daughter, because I was trying to figure out what was going on with the dynamics, and it was making me even sadder where there were moments where he was like, oh man, I'm sorry that I was away and I didn't like come around as much. I was like,
right.
Damn, dude, it was, and your old man kind of a piece of shit. Like, what the fuck? Well, I think they nixed that. They avoided that entirely with making it the niece. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's impressive because it's like, it doesn't keep you on your toes, but it still manages to surprise you because it's like, oh, you didn't do the predictable thing.
Right, doing the 90s dad.
But you still have, like, it's the same type of conflict, but the source is different. So it's still that old person, young person, you haven't been around and we're not as close as we used to be.
Trying to get back in their good graces. Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to reconcile. But the context is different. So it's like, yeah, I guess that's yeah, okay, that can work. I guess, depending on how you roll it. Sure.
And then we have the scene when he's introducing his family to Dexter.
Oh my God. Okay, this one.
Like, and this is Bun Bun introducing the smallest of all the kids. And like, carrying the kid is still hot ass Carmen Electra.
Still hot Carmen Electra.
He's the one where they start playing Roxanne with like a new remake of the song, I think.
Which, genius, by the way. But also, there was that nanosecond where I'm like, Ed did not fuck Roxanne after all of that. There's no what? Like,
not only Ed fucks, Ed fucks Top Shelf.
Yeah, Top Shelf had all these kids. Like, there's that moment where all of this hits you.
She somehow got through to him. That sex was, like it. And she got through to him well.
Yeah, it's like, so she just powered through all that abuse and said, but deep down inside him, there's a heart of gold. That's all at the forefront of your mind.
Right, they know that.
It puts you directly in Dexter's shoes because he has the exact same thoughts. And it's like, Ed,
yeah,
you and Roxanne got together? You're like, what? No, I'm the babysitter. It's like,
ew, no. Yeah, and Carmen is like, yeah, after I joined the nunnery, it's just already the way they just subvert you with just the sentence like,
right? It's like, no, Ed fucks, but not her. She hasn't fucked at all in a long time, actually. Just a desert.
Oh, that was weirdly, you didn't need to throw that little bit in there, but you did.
Yeah, it's, again, the writers know in a broad way narratively how obvious the narrative is going to go.
Right.
So in the writing in particular, that's where they hit you with the swerves and curveballs.
Yeah.
There's a funny one, actually, when we meet his wife, where it's like she's a trapeze artist.
Yeah.
Which, that joke, God damn it, because it's kind of clever.
The turns of phrase are really funny, and it's like, that's what we're ultimately here for, right? Oh, the clever, you thought it was this and it's that, and it's like, oh wow, actually, I can see how that you could have interpreted that way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And the way Kenan plays it off is really good as the guy who goes, oh, right, I'm in his wacky world, and this is how things are.
Oh yeah, I'm in Burger World.
Yeah, the one line that was really good was the one where he's like, Ed's introducing the family. He's like, oh, this is Dex. He's an interpreter. And it's like, it's actually entrepreneur, but since I did just have to interpret that, I guess that technically is what I am. Like, that was so good on a line of like, damn, that was like, whoever wrote that, they really need to be doing more stuff because that was fucking incredible. Like, I really wasn't expecting a line like that, Like,
I mean, that's part of why I like the trapeze artist joke where it's just like, oh, what is your wife? It's like, oh no, this is my wife. Every instance in Ed's house is a left turn,
right,
into something that you don't expect because it's Ed's world and we live in it, where it's just like, oh yeah, what does your wife do? Oh, she's a trapeze artist. It's like, oh, okay. Well, who painted those? My wife. Wait. She's a trapeze, artist. It's like, I'm like, son of a bitch. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good because it's not the thing that you think. Way to subvert expectations movie. You got a couple over on us.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just remembered. He slept in the bathtub.
Oh, right.
When he slept on the giant burger.
Yeah, Ed Jr. sleeps in the bathtub Ed Jr. apparently sleeps in the bathtub with the water running. He's like, yeah, he's bad if you don't have to worry about it. It's like, oh, okay. All right. How does he wake up alive every day?
Yeah, it's like, you've done this more than once, clearly. Just wrinkled to shit.
Yeah. So they go to the Good Burger. We meet the ape go to surrogate for the movie. She's fine. She gets a couple of the, curse word lines that actually I think is pretty funny. It's like, she's just sleeping. It's like, are you sure she's not doing more than just sleeping? It's like, let's see. And they blow this blue horn. And he's like, hey, jackass, what is?
Oh yeah, we can't forget the pancake introduction, where we now learn that Ed canonically eats pancakes in his bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a syrup dispenser. Why do you have a syrup dispenser in your bathroom? So I can eat my pancakes in here.
He's like, oh, silly me.
Sorry, I'm the idiot here. Of course.
Right, it's Ed's world, right, Burger World.
It's shit like that, where he's just like, goes to brush his teeth. He's like, oh, I need to wash my hands. Is that syrup? Yes, that's syrup. Why is that syrup? It is the same level of humor as why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Fuck you. That's it.
So we find out that Ed accidentally left Fizz in the freezer
for 20 20 plus years, it's like, oh, my mom and dad. Oh, man. All these things.
Oh, high school, college. Oh, no, what do I? And he's like the exact same person because, of course, he is because he's been left in there for a decade.
Yeah, cryogenically frozen.
But it's so funny how they're revealing we got a new freezer in this oil, but we just forgot to get rid of it. It's like yeah, the handle broke off. Oh wow, looks like you can actually just put it right back on. So not only was it probably not actually broken, it's like for 26 years, and then it finally gets out, and Fizz is just so cool about it. Like he's legitimately acting. Looking like a 40-year-old man, acting like a 18-year-old. He's like, he's 44. Oh my God, that's right. Yeah. He's like, oh man, wow, gee whiz, I need to call my mom. And what sucks is that he doesn't and that's basically a cameo. He doesn't show up for the rest of the movie.
No.
And it's like, I actually like this energy. And I was like, hey, why isn't that guy coming back? I need a whole subplot, about this guy reacclimating to his life.
I need a whole separate 90-minute spinoff. That is a nightmare tale that he just unleashed on this poor man. Is like,
that's a freaking Flight of the Navigator moment.
Yeah, fucking interstellar moment of just like, you come out of basically cryogenic sleep damn near 30 years later, like, your family looked for you.
Yeah.
And then gave up. The level of implication is worse than most horror movies. Gee willikers, guys. Oh man, I need to go check on my little league team at high school. I gotta go call my mom. Let me get to the nearest landline. It's like, oh God. If you were in a coma from 97 to now, you don't know how many technological leaps and historical events you missed. It's a nightmare, and he just has to walk out into the world like shit's normal.
Again, this is what I think is Kel's gone, right? The way they just have to be cool with it,
Yeah, and again, he doesn't show up again. So the joke just, you start to process all of that instant nightmare feel, and the joke is done. We're on to the next part of the movie. It's like, we don't have enough time to process what happened to Fizz.
He's probably in an insane asylum somewhere, trying to get his life back together from the culture shock,
First of all, we don't know if his parents are alive. We don't know if they're still in the state of fucking California.
I mean, he's dying from grief.
Here's the thing. His family looked for him, and you know that they stopped.
All right.
You know it. It's been 30 years. They moved on. We don't have phone books anymore. He has to learn what Google is. There's so much.
Oh, wow.
Captain America was bad. This is actually, I would argue, worse because the gap in technology is it's vast, but one person blinked and woke up. The other person, you have to adapt. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You're still within the bandwidth of being able to get a GED, so you just have to normalize. You don't get the Avengers and shit. You're just a dude.
Yeah, you didn't get to join the fucking superhero team after learning about Star Wars and shit.
You're a 44-year-old man who, as far as you made it, is little league and working at a drive-through at a burger joint. And then time stopped.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he literally peaked in high school.
Yeah, you literally peaked in high school. Time stopped for you. You came out, and it was 2023. What is that man's story? I need to follow his narrative. Fuck the Good Burger shit. What happened? I need the adventures of Fizz in 2023 because that's like a HBO Adam Sandler directed drama.
Oh man, him discovering internet porn. Yeah, Jesus Christ. But so Lil Rel Howery shows up in a bit of a glorified role.
Yes.
Slim as ever for this Legend sequel.
He looks great. He looks better every time I see him. Good for him.
Right? I'm like, what regimen is he on? Because it's from fucking Get Out to this. I'm like, this is a different person.
He's doing good. I think he proposed to his wife and had Adele sing at the proposal, so he's doing good. No, he proposed at the Beyonce Renaissance concert.
Is that what she needed to do to get? Maybe she hooked him up with a couple of fucking trainers and some shit.
Good for him. He's a funny guy. Good actor. I mean, he plays Evil McEvil lawyer in the movie.
Oh man, he definitely does plays the little termite guy telling doing little quick quips better than I think Kevin Hart does it. Call me an asshole, but
yeah, because Kevin Hart's playing Kevin Hart. When I'm watching this, I'm not watching and be like, oh, that's Lil Rel is Lil Rel. It's like, oh, that's a skeevy lawyer stereotype. But at least it's something.
Right. And you know what's funny? I realized something. I had to zoom out and pull back for a second. I was like, wait a minute. Lil Rel Howery, his character doesn't really have a dog in this fight. He's not the ultimate bad guy who wants the revenge. It's the Kesha looking chick at the end who wants revenge. You know what I'm saying? She's the one who's related to the original guy. So I was like, wait, why is she sending this guy out so much to see it? Oh, I know. This guy's the diversity hire. To be like, oh, that's right. Sign everything over. Don't think about it. I'm a fellow black dude. Don't think twice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm peeping game of what's going on here. You know, white corporate, you know what I'm saying, world.
Right. It's just like, this is their commentary. It's like, watch out for the man, you know,
that's right.
uses your brothers to turn against you from the inside.
All skin folk and kin folk, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, man. Yeah, what's funny is that while, like, you know, Ed's talking to this guy, Dexter's, like, you know, pretending to clean the table, but there's, like, 2 people at the table, so he's just washing all of their stuff.
He's spraying them in the face.
That's pretty funny. Like, the guy there overplayed it a little bit by being, like, you know, just like, oh, what? No, that was surprisingly refreshing. You know, like, I wish it would have just been a little bit of, like, you know, like the guy just really trying to like, look, I just want to eat. Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? Like,
he just keeps trying to go for the sandwich. I do appreciate, though, them going the direction of, instead of big guy gets angry and pits, it's like, well, that wasn't the worst service I've had at a restaurant. At least it's not Burger King.
That is true. And that is like the main clip of the movie. Because later on, there's a security guard who's like, you know, it's like, can we go this way? He's like, no, not without your pass, you know? So
that was another one that caught me off guard too, because it was Ron Funches, and I'm like, what the hell is Ron Funches doing? I mean, a check is a check is a check.
He gets a bit of time in this movie. That was a good one.
Yeah, like,
he gets a couple of good lines off. Yeah,
there's a lot of people in the cast that, again, that's what I was saying. They show up, they do their scene, and then they disappear. But the thing is, their faces I recognize. So it's just like, I mean, that could have been anybody.
Yeah,
and yet, you know, Liza Koshy is in this movie for some reason. Kai Sinatra, Pete Davidson showed up because.
Oh, God. Yeah. And for the Glory Good Burger, of course. But, okay, so there's this great moment where Kenan's asking for the money from Kel. And Kel, like, reveals, he's like, well, you know, I have $13 million. So, you know, after I, delineate this, I can give you $136. I was like, and then I was like, damn, Ed. Oh, I'm going to fucking shrewd businessman. He's like, well, to be honest, dude, you know, I'm going to need proof of return of investment for me to consider lending more capital.
Right. Like stingy bastard. Like, wait a second.
Well, I have to be proportional. I mean, you know, you're my man, but, you know, I got to get the money back. Yeah.
You're in a crude business, sir.
Right. Fucking Ed the miser over here. We then, like, reveal that, like, Dexter's niece is a whiz at computers. She apparently was like hacking websites at 6 to get free tickets for Kenan. And this is one of those things I was like, all right, dude, like, it was like, oh, that's supposed to be a cute, silly, like, over-exaggerated moment. Like, your niece for free shit. Like, was that cool?
You know how it is.
Like, look at that asshole. Oh, you gotta get out of here.
Yeah, like, but I will say, I mean, that does lend more credence to her argument. It's like, all right, man, if she's getting you free shit, you could have visited more a little bit. Could at least sent a card or something.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, if like the motherfucking authorities get called, you know this asshole's fingering this chick, and go like, oh, it was her, she did it, officer.
It was the 6-year-old, she did it. That little girl over there, the 7-year-old, yeah, she did it.
These days with this technology, she tricked me into it, honestly. She was using that thing, one of the words the kids these days using manipulated manufacturing like it. That's what she did, yeah.
Matter of fact, she gaslit me. Yeah, that's right. That's what the kids say.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you use it, right? She was moving the goalpost and then, oh man,
she rizzed me up and gaslit me, and it gave me the ick, is what it did.
So these 2 muscle men show up. Weirdly enough, dressed the same in the same plaid outfits. Every time they show up, they're dressed the same.
Oh yeah, maybe they're a couple. Maybe that's just their couple thing.
It's like a weird little bit. They're like, okay. It's a very stylized movie, you know.
Ed had he was what, gluing bowling balls to his fingertips, or they got stuck in the holes.
Yeah, somehow he got bowling balls stuck to his fingers, and so he couldn't even sign the thing anyway. And then he accidentally hits the guys and knocks them over.
Oh, no, not just that. Not only did he knock them over the railing, both bowling balls fell on their head, but because of the power of Burger Force, they live.
Oh, right.
Because they bounced off their heads. I'm like, those men are dead. We should not be seeing much more of them. But because Ed, the god of this world, did it, he let them live.
Yeah, cranium should be great. Actually, I think it's with the same bowling ball because the other one still stays on his hand.
You're right.
The little fuckers with one. He was like, I only need to use one. I
only need one bowling ball to get the job done. Boonk, boonk.
But I will let you live because he is a merciful God.
Right. You made me laugh, and for that you get to live. I don't often get recognized for my magical sauce.
So now we get to this moment where I'm sorry. This is supposed to be the villain moment where the bad guys are so evil because they, did this thing that was so bad. But I'm sorry. Once I really looked into what this detail was, I gotta point the blame at the main characters here, okay? So Laurel Howery basically says like, oh, hey, your friends can stay at Good Burger. We just want to franchise it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We're just going to open more locations. This has got nothing. We're going to keep the original and just give, you know what I'm saying? Just like open more places.
We just want to expand and give you raises. Everybody's going to get more money.
And honestly, like where's the problem there, right? Like, it's like, if that's actually what he was going to say, and that's actually what was in the contract, like I was like, I don't see what the conflict is. Like at first as I'm watching the movie, it's like, oh, well, if they say that and that's in the contract, that's what we're going to do. Well, then, okay, I guess movie over. What are we doing here? Like, but here's what happens. So they're having the party, they sign all the contracts. They're like, having the, opening of the franchise. This is so awesome. That's
wait. One minor side note before we get to the party, because I just remembered the dinner where they had that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember, Ed was holding the menu upside down, and it's like, Ed, you have it upside down.
Right.
Oh, no worries. And just does a handstand sitting at the chair.
Yeah.
There's moments of like physical comedy and shit, and it's, oh, God damn it. This movie is slightly funnier than I'm giving it more credit.
Joke for joke's sake or whatever. But there's a bit earlier that's actually pretty funny with DJ Flula, where like, oh, we're big in Germany because this, YouTuber, did a video about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I had the moment. I was like, wait, so do they have a chain open in Germany, or are Germans specifically coming to the middle of America, to fucking go to this one chain? It's like, I doubt that's a sustainable business model, Ed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how well is this shit doing right now? And so that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, it seemed like they kind of already had, he's got $13 million. Like, apparently they, they're big enough for Germans to know who they are. So I was thinking like, oh, did they not already franchise? But I'm thinking like, oh, okay, well, he's signing with them. I guess this is the official franchise now, So Ed convinces him to take the deal, making it the second time Dexter has ripped off his friend. But like I said, this time it legit seems like there's no downside. Like, it's not like they say, how in a lot of movies, like in Aladdin, it's like, oh, I'll give you your reward, your eternal reward.
Yes.
Like, oh, here's a bit of slip of the,
the monkey's paw curls.
Yeah, you use a slip of the tongue to like say what you really want to say without really saying it.
Yeah, but
no, they said to them, you will get this and you will get this.
Yeah, there was a verbal contract.
Well, Laura Howery says, wait, actually, I lied. It's all bullshit. Yeah, psych. You're like, you guys are all fired.
Psych. Haha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Especially because they're like, you should have read the contract. I'm like, no, yeah. That was my first thought when they signed it. I'm like, he said all those things and you didn't look down at it. They literally looked down just to sign it and said, oh, yeah, we can trust this guy who's been trying to coerce Ed for assumedly years, at least months.
Yeah, this sleazy dude.
Yeah, this sleazy suit dude that shows up like every day.
Blasting fucking weird music.
Yeah, right.
It's just tribal mixed with hip hop music. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, and just like that was my first thought. I'm like, well, I mean, because it's a PG, movie. We're keeping it simple. He's obviously lying because he's evil black lawyer man. But the extent to which they just kind of roll over and be like, yeah, he's telling the truth. Why would Laurel Howery lie to us?
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry. That's not fault. Like,
yeah, that was your fuck up. That was a colossal one too.
They bring it up in the line. They says, well, according to the contract that you signed without reading, I can do whatever I want. I was like, well, it's shit, guys. That's your fault.
Yeah, he got you all there.
I really can't get mad at them. And later on, he says, dang. And Kenan's like, dang, all I had to do was read the contract. I'm like, yeah, you dingus. Like, it's, movie over. I'm sorry. I'm not on your side anymore. You fucked up.
You did. Both of them. And like, I blame Dex more than Ed because Dex was
like, yeah. But because the good guys are the good guys, we got to be on their side. And oh my God, this is the one scene where the bad guy is revealed, and he got like, let me show you what we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be, Good Burger in Texas, Good Burger here, Good Burger. Which lets me know, okay, so they didn't even have other locations in the country. You know what I mean? If they have a Good Burger in Texas. And it's so funny. Kel does like an awful like Texas accent, but at least he's trying there. Then he does a fucking British accent as the Kel robot thing, and it's like it doesn't even sound like it legitimately just sounds Jamaican. It's like you're the one to the America's mom. And I was like, what the fuck?
All of them were great. Like I think we had Japanese Ed for a second.
Oh yeah, I was like, yeah, maybe like Ali G was doing the fucking Good Burger.
Which I'm like, well, I appreciate the effort at least to just be like, well, here's international Ed.
Yeah.
He is now everywhere.
Oh my God. And you know what tickled me fucking pink? The celebrity cameo song where it's like, we've got to do, Dex, we've got to get a bunch of celebrities to come together and make a song about Good Burger.
That shit came right out of the fresh fucking nowhere. I was so confused.
And can I tell you, the fact that it was so short, but still had this subversion that happened, I was like, this is probably the best bit of the fucking movie. Because like it was so short, but then they come back again, and it's like when all the celebrities show up like so quickly, it's just like it so catches you off guard with like, oh my God, they got this guy. What the fuck is happening right now?
It was all random ones too.
Right, I think Chrissy Teigen shows up. I think she was in the original video that they're parodying. You remember that, right? The lockdowns happening, and a bunch of celebrities, rich celebrities, sitting in their rich, spacious homes. Yeah, with everyone's eyes on them. We're not actually going to give up any money. No, we won't do that. But we'll release a video on YouTube singing "Imagine There's No Heaven." Fucking, what the fuck is wrong with you, tone deaf dumbasses? Like, imagine there's no heaven. No one's trying to fucking hear that right now.
Imagine all the people. So I got the list of them right in front because they were like back to back. It was like Nicole Richie, Zoe Saldana, Andy Samberg, Maya Rudolph, Chrissy Teigen, DMC, Daryl McDaniels, Shaun White, Mikey Day, George Clinton,
yeah. And Danny Tamborelli from the original All That cast, yeah.
Because Al Roker showed up later. And I'm just like, every single one of them, I'm just like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah. And these motherfuckers were just sitting in their cars and shit. Yeah, like, oh, just send us something,
Yeah, because like when George Clinton was just in his whip.
Yeah. And he wasn't even done picking his nose yet and shit. Like,
we save Good Burger. All right, I did my part.
Oh, right, we should be filming it now. Yeah.
Like, he says, like, we'll send you $20. Can you send this in?
Let me put the blow down, shit. Come in.
I'm like, what favor did they call in to get in multiple billion-dollar franchises Zoe Saldana?
Right. So we got to get to the root of what the plot is here, right?
Okay.
Because this is what this is all building up to.
Yes.
No, we can't have automation take over for, people doing jobs at fast food restaurants. It has to be the human touch. That's what needs to stay. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, I know that's a silly kids movie where they're not like really trying to impart a lesson, but it is a thing where it's just staring you in the face of like, you're making that point while the joke is that like, and it's this guy saying it while running this business horribly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one's ever getting the order. It's like, actually, yeah, I kind of want some automation, dude. If you're the example for what the human touch is, bro. You know what I mean?
It is as subtle as, like, a cannon firing into a glass house.
But it's one of those things where, like, by nature of it being so contradictory, it's basically just, like, just winking at half of the fact that we're like, we don't even believe in this message. This is just here because it's a movie about a burger stand, so we gotta have to have this plot here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Which is a shame, because, like, it's not a bad message. It's just, like, the messenger, the literal particular messenger, in the case of it being Ed, is not the best messenger, because he doesn't operate in our reality. He is above us mere mortals, doing whatever he does.
If there was at least one or two bits of someone, a silly moment, but still getting their burger, you can at least make the case. But no one ever does.
Well, that's another thing. So we can touch on like the cameos that happen up to it and throughout the movie. Because the one I was referring to earlier was Lori Beth Denberg comes back as Connie Muldoon.
Lori Beth. Yeah.
And I really like that because I'm like, fuck, I remember her from all that. And Connie Muldoon was really funny.
Yeah.
And I thought Connie was going to have to come back in during like the climax of the plot because it's like, oh, she's going to give an order so complex because that was the
I
joke.
legitimately thought they were going to do. That was the most staring in your face third act moment. Yeah.
I thought that was going to be how they broke it, was because her order was so, and they didn't, which again, subverted expectations, even though that would have been a really good way to close it out. It's like, yeah, you know, because like, oh, they can only do basic stuff. The AI is not good enough.
Yeah, and they can't capture like an actual human like ordering something. Like the lesson could have been, it's like, hey, ultimately these CEOs, you know, these corporate people who just want to sell the robots, you know, like you got to remember, you're selling to people, so you still have to, you know what I'm saying? People still want to see, you know, that human touch. That could have been the case you made, right? And actually later on, the villain has a line where she goes like, she actually makes like the case that you would make for why like these people are like shitty and don't care about humans, right? The upper management. She's like, oh, no more annoying employees with their problems like getting sick or asking for a raise or I need to go to the bathroom. I was like, wow. I assume she's been using the Amazon worker model for her employees.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, huh? Yeah, wearing that one on the sleeve, huh?
Like that's the thing. It's like those would be the things that a villainous corporation would be like, I don't care about the human touch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care the deputy's in the bathroom. Stay at the job or else we're replacing you. That's the fucking, you know, John Henry going up against the automation. Well, it's just like a dude fucking picking his nose and fucking, you know, when he says, I want this on the side, goes like, well, do you want it on the right side or the left side? Like, I'm sorry. I would want a machine so that I could just order the thing and fucking go.
Yeah, here's the weird thing about Good Burger is like, it must be like the only burger joint within 25 miles.
Fucking maybe this post-apocalyptic wasteland. I mean, we never see outside, really. So maybe this is all it is.
Right, because they always have like customers there, like full customers. But every interaction directly with a customer, because like Marsai Martin comes in and she gets, you know, screwed over. Pete Davidson comes in. Kai Cenat at one point pops up near the end. And every one-on-one interaction they have, they're all terrible. Like, they're terrible to the customers.
Yeah, maybe we're just seeing Ed shift. And it's like, he fucks up. Like,
maybe that's it. Maybe it's just every time Ed shows up.
Every time we get here, it's right as he's starting his shift. And someone just, yeah, you know, maybe that makes sense.
Like, without him, things run fine. And he just kind of reaps the benefits.
And actually, his shift only goes as long as the skits go. Like, he's only there for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like,
it's the Johnny Bravo fallacy. You only see the failures. And that's the point.
And then, you know, he's like, oh, time to go up to the top of the fucking store and spend the rest of the day there. I don't know why no one else comes up. Maybe we only work for 15 minutes and they come up here. You know, they just told him that just to get him out of the fucking way, you know?
Right.
Like, yeah. And I do like her, like Lori Beth, where she hits you with like an even more complex order that like it heightens it in a funny way where she's like, put the onions on there, but then take them off. Because I like the, you know, the essence of onion, but I don't like the crunch. Like, I thought that was actually really funny.
I hate the fact that I absolutely understand what she meant by that, too.
Yeah, I get what she did. I was like, yeah.
That's such an oddly specific thing. I'm like, on that one thing, I will agree. I know she's a petulant customer, but I get what she means.
Actually got that. Oh, man. So that was actually a fun moment. But like, it felt like it didn't like pay off as well. Because it felt like his response wasn't as funny. It was just like, bye, Connie, or whatever.
I thought it was a joke that would have a payoff later. It's like, we know who can fix this.
Yeah.
Connie Muldoon. No, it was just a joke.
Right. So they call everyone back. They lie to them and say that they're getting their jobs back. And they're, come over to Ed's place. We'll celebrate. So everyone comes over and is like, yeah, we're going to get jobs back. He's like, psych. Well, not really, but, you know, we need to do this mission for Good Burger, for the glory of Good Burger, of course, you know.
Ah, yes, the glory of Good Burger. Oh, wait, did we talk about the introduction of them meeting the CEO, Kat, the sister of the owner of Mondo Burger, Kurt?
No, we didn't. Yeah, where she eventually reveals it. Yeah. She gets her franchise movie revenge.
It feels like it was supposed to be Amy Schumer, but they didn't want to get Amy Schumer.
It definitely does.
Like, it was supposed to be her, but we didn't want to work with her exactly, so Jillian Bell. Oh, wait, no, okay. So half of this cast is just Saturday Night Live alum.
Yeah.
So she's just someone else from SNL because, I mean, why not? She's right there.
I mean, Kenan, you know, he's like, hey, come on. What else are you doing?
There's like 9 people from SNL in this, and I understand completely why, because, you know, it's just, why not?
This is exactly what I mean. So in the third act, Ed uses his godlike manipulation powers like fucking Mr. Purple Man to get them all to change their minds about coming to help him on the mission.
Right.
Like, he literally just goes like, hey guys, this is what I have to say. And then he legitimately just stares at them, and they all just gotta have the reaction of, oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of? Of a Pootie Tang. Where it's like said nothing. It's like, you're right, Ed. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's a Pootie Tang joke.
It's actually played really well with how they do the camera angles, with Kenan just being like, am I missing something here? And it's like, did you guys get all of that with what he just gestured? But yeah, it's a great moment because it's like he just makes like pontificating looking gestures. You know, he's like, and like what's he like? They change at first. It's like inspirational, and then it's the one where he's like, you know, now guys, we know, you know, like, you know that it's gonna be hard up there. We know we have to do. Like, you can almost see what he's saying. You know,
it's very much we need to move the plot along.
Yeah, like it doesn't really matter what he's gonna say. Yeah,
we're not gonna bore you with the attempt to write dialogue for this.
Yeah, we're gonna copy and paste the line from fucking with the National Lampoon, you know, where fucking Bluto goes like, did the British quit when they were beating up the Germans? Or whatever?
Yeah, it's like, look, you know what part of the movie this is? This is the big inspirational moment.
Right.
We're not gonna use any words for this. We'll write a couple more jokes for it. And again, it works.
It works. It's a dumb basic moment that works, you know?
Yeah, because it's like, oh, this is gonna be the part where he does the big speech. He doesn't even need to do the speech. Fuck it. You know what this is. It's like, fair enough.
It works with the subversion of expectation that is like so much of this movie, right? Of like, you expect the big guys to be mean and then they're not. You expect the inspirational, you know, speech, but it doesn't happen. Like, it's funny.
Yeah, it's all little shit. But what did you think about Kat as the villain?
She was fine.
She was supposed to be something because they kept playing her up. She was playing it really big,
but it didn't feel like there were like the right jokes or the right intensity in the same way that the dude would, you know, you're going in the grinder. Like, she didn't have like a phrase like that. You know what I mean? Like, She was just big bad villainess girl boss thing. You know, like
the girl boss burger top CEO, which I'm like, that works fine. The fact that she was going to rebrand the restaurant as Mega Good Burger, and it was called Megacorp and not Mondo Good Burger, and it wasn't called Mondo Corp.
That's what I was like the whole time. Like, Mondo Good Burger.
Like, was it too obvious? Was it too on the nose?
Right.
Because we as the viewer would have figured it out. We knew what the plan was.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, okay, so there would have been like, so you literally did the least to I would have rathered you do the stupid obvious thing.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Mondo Good Burger, and we're rebranding our company to Mondo Core to stick with the theme.
He's like, oh, they take it over. Yeah.
No, we're not giving you that delight, audience. It's Mega.
And then I didn't like how it was like the save the girl moment that Kenan has to do to, you know, prove that he's going to be there for his niece. Dude, it's so contrived.
Oh, yeah. She got stuck in the dumbest way possible.
The way it happens is like, she walks up to the conveyor belt with the potatoes on it. She like has her shoes off and is like putting them on the conveyor belt for some reason. And like, did we cut something? And I was like, why is she doing this?
I think, what was it? Like part of her jacket and part of her shoelace gets stuck in the belt.
No, part of her hair and part of her shoe.
Oh, yeah, part of her hair. And I'm just like, girl, just take off the shoe and roll off the side.
Why was she on the conveyor belt in the first?
Also,
what happens is she, like, they shoot it so awkwardly. First, she's putting her shoes, like, up against the conveyor belt, like she's, like, playing with it for some reason. Then all of a sudden, she's on the conveyor belt, and I was like, why is she on it?
Right.
What would she need to do that would require her to get on it? And then all of a sudden, she's like, okay, good, over and out. And then, you know, the thing, like, clicks open as if it's, like, about to start. And it's like, well, you gotta stop it all the fucking thing. But whatever we needed to have, the moment where he comes in at the last second, he's like, oh, no, I see you. And he pulls out a tray, and he's somehow able to save her by jumping in the way of the thing.
Yeah, it stops the machine. It's like, you saved me, Uncle Dex. It's
now I appreciate you or something. This makes up for all those times you didn't show up for my softball game or something. I don't know.
I guess this is a resolution to not feel like he cared about you, including like the scene of him getting a selfie with Nicole Byer is not Lizzo.
Oh, right. Yeah. That did happen. Yeah.
Yeah, or it's just got to, like, again, That's why it's like part of me is like this seemed like this was multiple scripts.
Yeah.
And they just cut and paste a couple things from some previous drafts and said we need to pad this out because right now this is only 45 minutes.
Yeah. I can't even remember when that happened. Yeah.
We need another 45 minutes on this. We need some scenes. We need events to happen.
So they get to the scene where they have to shut down everything and
when they're uploading the virus or whatever, and
they're somehow able to get into the mainframe. Somehow the way they mess things up is like, I thought it was like, oh, at first it's just like, oh, instead of just handing her the burger, because it's like, oh, here is the grand opening. We're gonna be able to automate the Good Burger experience with the Ed 2000, And they start him up and he starts serving it, but then he like throws the fries at her, then throws the burger at her, then like the milkshake machine attacks and all that sort of thing. Metal Ed gets laser eyes. I was like, wait,
right?
Did Ed program that into the fucking thing?
Okay, so do you know what I thought they were originally gonna do with that too?
Yeah,
was they were gonna have Real Ed and Metal Ed switched.
Oh yeah, right. That they were gonna do a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is going to be like, that's why he started throwing the food. I'm like, oh, it's actually the real Ed, and the robot Ed is with them because of bullshit. Like, no, they didn't do that either.
Right. Maybe he goes evil and they have to fight it or something,
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, we need to find Robo Ed. And he turned like out of, but they didn't. He just malfunctioned and got laser eyes, and every Ed launch across the world starts burning down buildings and causing mass destruction and chaos.
Yeah, so I assume the Good Burger name is fucking mud at this point.
At least internationally, it sure is.
Because, I mean, literally the face of the company has been seen shooting laser eyes at customers.
Oh, it's just the face of God. What are you going to do?
But, and at the end, of course, he has the moment where it's like, well, man, I thought we were going to, just make it go and make it not work. How did you, make it do that? It's like, oh, well, it's no big deal. All they had to do was modify the control prompts and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, God damn it, that's all you had to do, motherfucker.
He has those moments where the hamster wakes up on its wheel, gives it 3 good spins.
Yeah.
Get 3 good rotations of genius. It's the moments where Ed's IQ briefly falls in sync with like the perfection of the universe. It just spikes to 200 once every couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. With what the task demands. So he makes the completely limp point about how nothing beats human efficiency. And it's like, oh no, Ed, you're a useful idiot. You're being used as a pawn.
Yeah, by Big Burger.
You're the person that people look at. Oh, this is our opposition. This is your advocate for the human touch. You know what I mean? This is the guy they manipulated the system to put him in front of, to be the final peg that falls before the automation takes over.
The thing I love too is that like this, I guess, multinational company that I presume has a lot of different exports, including we do see like a self-driving car and all these other technological marvels, gets entirely like shut down off of the failure of their burger division.
Oh, that's true. Well, they invested a lot of money in it, all right? Like fucking Mark Cuban.
Yeah, they have the same business mindset as Dexter, where it's like, look, put all of our stocks into this Good Burger thing. Trust me, it's going to change the world. The minute it started throwing burgers, those stocks went into hell. That bitch got shuttered immediately.
Hey, look, you never know what's going to change with the market. One minute you're fine, another minute everyone's got a problem with getting a burger thrown in their face. You never know what people are going to be into,
That collapse is comparable to like Twitter. Boy, what a fumble that was.
Yeah, it's just like all you had to do was not do anything.
Right. You really just had to wait for that to blow over.
But any fucking way. So ultimately, I'd say it's enjoyable enough. If you've already got Paramount Plus, you know what I'm saying? Why not? No worse than the other fucking nostalgia baiting shit.
Yeah, it's fine.
Better than Clerks 3. I'll give it that.
I still gotta watch Clerks 3.
Long gap sequel about people working in, a service industry where they're way too old for this shit. The Good Burger movie actually handles it way more oddly realistically than the Clerks movie does.
In the burger world with Burger Force and Burger Logic in Edgeworth.
Yeah.
The more you hate on Clerks 3, the more I feel the desire to see it. Because, like, look, if I can sit through super groovy cartoon movie, I can sit through anything.
Oh, God. Look, I'm just more likely to believe that an idiot savant was somehow able to build $13 million off of of a stupid, burger joint and some good stock tips, rather than Clerks 3 where the plot is, hey, what if I as an old man made a movie about my life that looks just like the first Clerks movie, but no one would have seen that movie, that it wouldn't have existed in this world because I'm me in it. No one would have known it. So it's just a whole jerk fest for fucking Kevin Smith. It's like where the meta doesn't work with what's actually happening in the movie.
It's okay, DJ. It's a meta commentary.
Yeah,
it's a meta commentary about one man's existential crisis.
On how I don't have any fucking ideas left, so I'm just going back to the well for the 5th time.
Can't wait till we get Clerks, the live-action reboot on the CW with cameos from Grant Gustin and Stephen Amell as Dante and Randall.
And get fucking Jim Breuer to fucking reprise his role as the offshoot guy from the one-shot TV show they did.
Oh my God. And somehow Rosario Dawson is still in it again.
Right? It's like, why are they did you lose a bet or something?
Do you know how much someone has to like you?
Oh, man.
Hey,
buddy, do you have any more thoughts on this one? I mean,
not really.
It's pretty open and shut case, Johnson. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not embarrassing to watch, know, and that's what you were afraid of, right? Like, that it'll fall on its face as a sequel that's just going to ape the original jokes and be like, hey, the guys, do you still like us? And it manages to not do that, which is good enough, like, what can you expect from Paramount Plus, at the end of the day? The
biggest compliment I can give the movie is, as we talked about, it does unexpected things. They're just all in the context of, like, expected things.
Yeah.
It's not narratively surprising. It's, like, contextually surprising, I guess.
It uses the narrative tropes to sort of do like, oh, but we could flip this and take advantage of it, as a joke moment, though.
Yeah, like the status quo is still the same, and it's like a by the books, predictable sequel. But I give the writers, one, credit enough because it's the same writers as the first one, but two, that they like did things where it's like, okay, they didn't do the thing I expected them to do. That's more than I can say for a lot of other, like, predictable movies. So it's like, yeah, you'll get to the same end goal, but
yeah,
it doesn't do what you expected to get there.
For them to have the set dressing and then go, you know what, since you're here, let's have a little fun and flip some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want at the end of the day from something like this,
I'm glad Kenan and Kel are getting paid.
Yeah.
They seem like nice guys. I have enjoyed them as a part of my childhood. The movie's fine.
Right.
Like, it's a fine movie to watch with your family.
A worthy successor, to the Good Burger.
If you want sound on in the background, boy, do I have the movie for you.
Right, basically, yeah. Maybe you'll catch a glimpse and catch a laugh every now and then. You know what I mean? It's a good Christmas movie, I feel like, probably, actually,
It was perfect for Thanksgiving because we ate, sat down, and just like, huh.
Right, good. Get the family around and, no-brainer movie and just have fun. Yeah. This has been the Review a New podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Like I said, if you want to support the show, Ko-fi.com for one-time payments for requests, or patreon.com/RapCritic for the ongoing stuff. And let's wrap this motherfucker up and get this shit done. We went on way more than I was expecting us to talk about for the Good Burger 2 movie, but yeah, that's what we do around here,
Shit, we're under the runtime of the actual movie.
Yeah, look at that. This has been the Review a New podcast, and signing off, I'm DJ.
And I'm Will the Greatest.
And I said, 2 beef patties, special sauce, onions, tomatoes, lettuce, on a sesame seed bun. On a sesame seed bun, you big dummy.
I want 2 beef patties.